As always, welcome back to the channel. It is Halloween day. I got to work tonight on Halloween night. Um, should be interesting. Anyway, I got the back slotted mags mocked up today on the back of the Dart. Let's go take a look and see what we still have some issues that we need to get around on clearance and odds and ends, stuff like that. As you can see, it's kind of shaded back here. You'll probably be able to see better in the video than me looking through the screen while I make this video. It's got a nice stance out back. Nice wide tires. But the only problem is, they look good, but here's the problem. And I did make sure that the axle shafts, well, I'm in my shadows in the sunlight. I did make sure the axle shafts were properly aligned and engaged all the way in before I mess with any of this stuff. The only problem is right here, I got maybe 5/16 of an inch from the edge of the inner lip here to the wall of the tire, and the car is off jack stands and blocks and everything. Nothing is holding it up except for the super stock leaf springs. No shocks on there. Shocks I don't really think would matter much anyway. They would compress. So the only solution is, as far as to deal with clearance between the lip here, is I would have to run a little bit skinnier tire, maybe the skinniest tire I could, on a 7-inch wide rim. I think, was it maybe a 205 or 225 or something like that? Because right now it's a 235, and you know, maybe I could drop down, instead of a 75, I can go to a 70. As far as, because it's got a little bit of a, I'd say half an inch gap between the front of the tire and the front lip here on the deal. Anyway, let's see here. The passenger or the driver's side's pretty much the same. Maybe a little bit tighter, and I don't know if it's just because of how the rust had ate out the lip, and the lip is, I don't know what the deal is with this one over here. This seems to be a lot tighter over on this side, and they're exact same rim, exact same tire. Yeah, I don't have a lug nut on this one, but like I said, same tire, same rim. I might have to check to see if maybe that thing is not fully engaged all the way in there or something, because I had to push in on it, and it seemed like there was pressure on it. Maybe there was an air pocket in there that was pushing against it, that maybe it's not fully pushed in or something. But because I did use axle grease, like bearing grease, on the splines and push it in. It could be causing a slight air pocket in there, and it's acting like a cushion and not wanting to engage that. But anyway, it bolted all the way up. But anyway, got the same gap all the way around. You know, you're gonna have to go with the skinnier tire, wall tire. You know, as far as instead of a 235. But anyway, these are the rims I got off of Jed and his dad from Scott's Speed Shop, both sides. I still have an extra one up there in front. The fourth one was already pre-damaged before they bought the van, so that's going to be used for like a mounted on the wall and wrap like a air hose or a garden hose around that one, since it can't be fixed. There's a big chunk taken out of the section of the rim right here. Anyway, as you can see, there's cancer. I got to get that fixed. Somebody shoved some foam in there prior. I got to clean all that out. Maybe this spring start working on this lip. I'm not going to pay no $100-$200 for a little patch panel. I'm just going to go ahead and grind this down. Whatever can't be, is not going to be solid enough. I'm going to cut it out and work my. I'm going to start on one side and slowly work my way across, building this lip and down the back, and then I'm going to figure out how far down the fender well needs to come down prior to doing that, and then cut that off and make the lip and everything, and then weld them together, and then spray a bunch of rust killer converter from the inside down, so it just runs and leaks and fills all the gaps and stuff, so it keeps water from getting up in there. And then finish up the body work, get this done. I got another little spot right there underneath the bumper to take care of on the quarter panel. The rest of the car is pretty solid. I don't know if it spent most of its life under a carport in a garage or what it did, but it also helped out that the previous owner allowed the seals to leak on the transmission and the motor and the rear end, so everything underneath's got a nice coating of thin coating of oil and grease, and not enough to, like, you could, you know, scrape it off like chunks or nothing like that, but enough that it helped with keeping the body, the undercarriage, preserved. I mean, that's what they used to do on the old cars anyway. They would go in for an oiling, and I asked the guy, because he's got a 57 Plymouth Fury, and I said, what do you mean? He says, oh, you go into the shop and they spray the underside of the car with oil, and it soaks into the metal and everything else. This was before they had rubberized undercoating. They would help the cars to keep from rusting up. But front tires got to be, like I said, the front end's got to be aligned. That tire seems to be rubbing on that side, the lip. I imagine once they get the camber and all that stuff corrected, that the tire will set up where it's supposed to be and won't be rubbing against the fender. Oh, let's see here. Yeah, this tire is facing out this way. It's got the tie rods have got to be adjusted. I just put it together to get it put together, but yeah. The other thing too, the adjuster bolts on the lower control arm haven't been raised up to put tension on the torsion bars, so that's another reason why the front end's setting low. Almost forgot about that, but anyway, I just wanted to check in with you guys, let you know some of the issues, and I'm still having, with all the weight on the vehicle, I still have the shackles have came back a little bit more into kind of position, but they're actually supposed to be facing back and down at an angle. So I've got two options. I can either try to run adjustable shackles, and it could raise the car up a little bit, get the car up off the tires a little bit, and it would probably bring the bottom of the shackle back this way at an angle like it's supposed to. Or like a guy said, let's see here, focus, there we go. Take a piece of real thick wall box tubing, jack the car back up, take the tension off the rear end, lower the rear end, the leaf springs away from the shackles, and then mount the thick piece of tubing, box tubing, lengthways up against this panel here that the shackle plate bolts to, and then make a custom made extension piece that bolts down and then has 2 extra holes, and then you would take this bracket, mount it up, trace out where the holes are supposed to go, drill the holes, and then thread them, and then put this bracket, bolt it to the box tubing piece that's got the real thick wall. And what that would do was it would move the shackle up 3/4 of an inch, whatever, or a little over an inch, inch and a half, and it would bring the shackle, the top part, more forward and give it more of an angle look. Let me know in the comments what you think. And like I said, I don't have the shocks on here. I'm going to be running B-body shocks. The later 60s, early 70s B-body Charger shocks are great for this. Of course, you could run 1965 Dodge D100 pickup shocks on this too, because they extend a little bit longer than the 69 ones do. I think the 69 at full extension is like 23 point something inches, or maybe it's 22, I can't remember. I looked at the specs online compared to the stock A-body shocks when they're fully extended, and the B-body's a lot longer by an inch, inch and a half, and then the pickup truck's probably an additional inch or half an inch. I can't remember what it is. I'd have to sit there and figure out what the math would be on the, and then the compression would be like 10 point something inches max. But anyway, yeah, that's the little odds and ends you got to deal with when you're modifying stuff. So I haven't really decided what I'm going to do. The only other thing I was worried about is, of course, driving down the road and the suspension bouncing or something, even though it's supposed to be a lot stiffer suspension. And then having, somebody said they had a problem with these bottom half of the shackles popping back up up by the floor, and then they'd have to go through the process again. They said they just and then somebody talked about putting the Mancini Racing B-body front hangers on, where it brings the leaf springs back 2 inches, but that would cause problems because then the tire would run into the back of the fender well lip. And so it's either a toss-up between running the adjustable shackles, you know, the long flat bar ones that you can get like at your little local auto parts stores, or doing the extended box tubing, small section of box tubing, or even a combination of the new box tubing plus the adjustable shackles. So when I get to that point, I'm not going to be messing with it right now, so I'm more worried about dealing with the tires and the clearance on the fender, the rear wheel wells. But anyway, that's pretty much it. Oh man, hope everybody out there has a safe and fun Halloween night, and stay tuned for more videos.